Welcome back, JC. Let's go get that.
Boy, we got some echo. Sounds like the baseball's going out of Globe Life Park.
I'm going to stop that.
No video. There we go.
Let's hop to it, JC.
All right,
everybody
man.
ready for this, man?
Yes.
Let's have some big fun, bro.
Okay.
First off, you already know what time it is. It's time for Sports Rehab.
Boy.
That's V. Wallace. There you go. There you go. V. Wallace with your boy JC, Jimmy Clark, ready to have some fun with you guys tonight, talking about the world of sport. We're here on the High Vibe Network. And Jimmy, we got some good topics tonight?
Man, it's been a while, so yes, we do. Some topics that are talkable topics.
Talkable topics, yeah.
You know, a couple things going on all across the sports world, so I'm been looking forward to getting a little chat on. So,
okay, well, we've had a little while since we joined you guys, but we're going to jump right into it. I mean, I think there's no reason to wait for it. You know what, Jimmy? I left the right notes over here.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Vince pays someone to put all his notes down for him.
You better believe it. I got interns, man.
Yeah, he's got people. He's got
yeah,
a guy.
they're called kids.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. Let's go ahead and talk a little British Open.
Oh.
I know this has been on Jimmy's mind since Sunday.
Yes.
He's barely been able to contain himself. So I say we just go ahead, Jimmy, and let you have the floor.
All right, well.
Tell me about the British Open.
Man, so, folks, I will say this, and Vince is a testament to this. If you're not watching the majors, you don't have to love golf. You don't have to play golf. The majors make for some great television watching. Would you agree with this, Vince?
Absolutely. That's why I watch the majors.
Right. So we're here in Dallas. We got a Dallas kid that goes out on the first day and just says, here's the precedent, boys. See if you can catch up.
He did that.
Second day he goes out, I got a little better, boys. See if you can catch up. Third day, keeps playing strong, builds him a nice 3-shot lead. And then we get to Sunday.
Sunday.
So,
did he stress you out Sunday?
It did. Well, first off, as you know, it's the British Open, so it's starting early in the morning.
Right.
You know, for those of us that are diehard fans, I'm up Thursday and Friday. It was on at 12:30 in the morning, our time. So I'm sleeping through the afternoon because I want to be up and watch this.
Well, you got to have priorities, Jimmy. Work, golf. I mean,
get
them right.
We removed work from the equation. So
it's good to retire at 39, isn't it?
So as I'm sitting here, the conversation is always going to come up with a Jordan Spieth, Dallas's own, because of the 2016 Masters.
Yes.
So, for those who aren't aware, Jordan Spieth had a nice cushiony lead going into the back nine at the Masters, gets to hole 12, and proceeds to get a quadruple bogey. Gives away the Masters.
It's the reason that I watch golf. I watch it for the tragedy. I watch it to watch it unfold. I hated to see it happen to a local kid.
Sure.
So my heart kind of went out to Jordan. But when I tell you the high-stakes drama that's involved in those moments, in those golf tournaments, you can almost see the guys just the sweat dripping from their brow and the pressure just on their shoulders starting to weigh them down.
Yes. So it's the same reason a lot of people love NASCAR. It's
the crash.
For all intents and purposes, golf and NASCAR from a spectator position, very, very similar. It's the same thing over and over again until one little thing goes wrong.
Right.
You have an incredibly small margin of error in both of those sports. And so here we are on Sunday after having watched Jordan Spieth put together 3 just clinics of days of golf. Clinics. How to recover, how to be the best putter on the planet. We all know that putting in the short game is what makes champions.
That's right.
For those of you who do remember back, even though we're going on 10 years since a Tiger Woods major, it's 08.
08 was the last one.
08. So Tiger could hit great shots. They used to talk about Tiger-proofing the courses.
Because he was long.
He was long. So you had to figure out ways to maneuver the positioning of the course, make it malleable so you could stop him from being so dominant.
Right.
But the problem is he still got on the green, and he was the best person on the green. Jordan Spieth is that person right now. He's not longer than anybody. Not even close. I mean, he's not a long hitter. He's testy at time to watch because he plays so slow.
He does play slow.
But boy, when he gets on the green, lights are out.
Well, he definitely proved it over the last few holes on Sunday. I tuned in because I knew that Jimmy wanted to lead off the show with this, so I wanted to make myself as knowledgeable as possible. And when I'm watching Jordan, one of the things that you realize is that he just has it.
Yeah.
I think I was texting you, and I'm just like, this guy just has it. It's that unquantifiable characteristic that causes champions to rise.
Yes.
And I saw it in him. You know, it's almost amazing that he had the Masters meltdown, because as you watch him today, you wonder how that even happened.
I know.
But golf is such a fickle sport. I think the heaviest sporting wear you can wear sometimes is the golf shirt, because that pressure, when you see it on those guys, you can even see it in their shoulders. Yes. And we also saw it in Jordan a little while there.
Yes.
On Sunday. I mean, I'm not going to tell you he was perfect, because let's talk about that 13th hole, Jimmy.
Okay, so I'm going to lead off this, guys, when it comes to the 13th hole. The 13th hole was a calamity for him. It was setting up to be a catastrophe. For those of you who didn't see it, golfers, for the most part, can go out and pick a spot and hit the ball within 10 yards of that spot at any given time. Now, the pressure gets to you, and you may do what they call spray it. You don't really know where it's going. Jordan Spieth hit a drive 100 yards away from his target line. Now, think about that, guys. If you're looking straight...
It's a football field,
It's a football field to the right. So think about what this does. It's a hole that goes straight and then turns left. So not only have you left yourself a shot that is not in the short grass, the easy stuff to hit, it's significantly further away on your next shot to get actually back on the green. Jordan hits it so badly, we got a number of things going on. Can we find it?
Can we find it? And it took a while.
So, now one of the nicest things about being a pro golfer versus the amateur is you got fans out there, you got spotters, and their job is to look for the ball.
Right.
I go out and I lose the ball. I look for about 30 seconds, and then I go, that seems difficult. I don't want to do it. I'll just drop here. Take my penalty and move on. Because if you can't find the ball, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
So obviously they want to look. And let's set something up real quick. Jordan had lost his 3-shot lead by this point.
Yes, because on that very same hole, you have Kuchar preparing for a birdie putt.
Yes. Now, I have a serious problem with the slow play of golf. The pros are the reason that recreational golfers like myself have to deal with people that want to play slow, because that's what the pros do. In basketball, you understand the closest I'm going to get is I get to wear Jordan shoes.
Right.
That's the closest I'm going to get.
Right.
In football, the closest I'm going to get is I can get the hat they wear on the sidelines. These are realities of the sports.
Well, I've seen you in a headset. You can also wear a headset.
Well,
as a
yes,
coach.
yeah. So, but as far as actually playing the sport, there's nothing I can do to come close to the type of athleticism that those guys have.
Right.
But in golf, I can do some of the same things that they do. You don't have to be big to putt. You don't have to, you don't need a special talent to do that. Now, I may not make them, but what I'm getting at is I can play the same courses they do if I'm willing to pay.
More skill than athleticism is what you're saying.
Definitely, and mental fortitude.
Okay.
So, but with this comes the fact that golf is long, it's tedious, it takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time.
Right.
I don't want to take more time than I need to. And one of the things that any athlete will tell you is when they get in the zone, one of the easiest ways to get out of that is having to wait.
That's why coaches call timeout in basketball.
Right.
That team's in too good of a rhythm. Let me break
exactly.
up the rhythm.
You've heard the terms momentum. You've heard how teams just they find their groove.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing against a team that is in those, you are going to lose.
Usually, that's what happens.
So that's why I'll say that the Super Bowl was so shocking this past year, because Atlanta was in their groove, doing what Atlanta did best this year, and then somehow just completely came out of it.
That's a different topic, though.
I agree, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the coaches kind of let off the gas.
Sure.
Don't let off the gas against Tom Brady.
So, but what I'm getting at, guys, is Matt Kuchar, who was playing decent golf, not great golf on Sunday, but definitely good enough to win. At this point,
you thought he had won.
Well, yeah.
I thought he had won. I thought it was done.
Oh, yeah, because it's significantly unfair to Matt Kuchar to have to wait 23 minutes.
Let me ask you, Jimmy, because I've heard people pose the question, should there have been a penalty assessed? And I wasn't sure, but I know that you play golf. Mm-hmm. So from your humble estimation, should a penalty have been assessed in that situation? Bet 9 on the major.
The thing. So golf's rules are almost entirely self-imposed. If the penalty is going to happen, most often I have to be the one to call it. If I'm doing everything I can to win outside the bounds of cheating, then I don't know that I'm ever going to call a penalty on myself. Now, they have officials that are out there that had already told them, you're on the clock, you need to pick up your pace. You're supposed to stay one shot behind the group in front of you. They were not doing this. Jordan hits this ball, this tee shot way off his line. He has to now go find the ball. Once he finds it, he realizes that it's not playable. So he's already going to lose a stroke. He's getting penalized for that.
Right.
In golf, when you take an unplayable, you have certain rules of where you can then put the ball so you can hit it. One of them says I can go back from the spot of it and keeping the flag between, or the spot of where I found it between me and the flag. So a straight line. Those are collinear. I can go back as far as I want on that line. Well, he took advantage of the fact that all the trucks, television, equipment trucks, everything were on the course.
And he was so far off the fairway that it was, nobody even expected anybody to hit a ball this far off the fairway.
Right. And so he then proceeds to work with officials, and he's doing the right thing with working with the officials. But guys, taking that long, think about it. If the average round of golf for a pro is 72 strokes, if I took 20 minutes per stroke, you're talking about, let's see, so 80 minutes a hole.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous.
I mean that
you'll be playing the next Tuesday.
Yeah, and I mean you're going over a full day. It's unrealistic. They have the rule about slow play. They never ever enforce it. This to me, as much as I am a fan of Jordan Spieth, love watching him play. He's a local guy. We always love our local guys to do well,
right?
Except for the Cowboys. And so because of this, it makes it difficult to say. But I do truly believe a penalty should be assessed. I know it stinks because it's the back nine of a major.
Back nine of a major, you'd assess a penalty in that situation?
In my opinion, you have to. It is. I know it. Like in any sport, you don't want the referees to determine the outcome.
Right.
But the referees aren't doing anything other than enforcing the rules.
But they're in the last group. It's not like anyone's behind them.
I understand, but that's why you have a playing partner. You still have somebody else that's there.
True.
Matt Kuchar, if you saw it, is sitting on the ground waiting for his next shot.
So if you asked Matt Kuchar if a penalty should have been called, he would have said...
Well, Matt Kuchar's known as the nicest guy on tour, so he'd have said, no, I totally understand. But in his heart of hearts, I think Matt Kuchar's sitting there going, this kid is killing me. And now, Matt Kuchar kept up his rhythm and played well. It's what happened after that is going to be talked about for some time in golf lore.
Yes. Let's talk about what happened after that, Jim.
Yeah. Well, first off, he hits the next shot. He doesn't get on the green, but he doesn't land in one of those dreaded bunkers either.
And they refer to it as a blind shot.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't see the hole.
No, he's hitting, there's a mound. It looks like, if you've ever driven through Louisville or Carrollton, it looks like the landfill out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hits over that, dead on his line, but just short. Hits a pitch up onto the green and leaves himself about a 7-footer, but it's a turning 7-footer. And then goes and drains the putt for his bogey.
Yeah. Now this is a initial shot that, for all intents and purposes, if you walk away with a double bogey, you're ecstatic.
That's what you were hoping for, a double bogey at that point.
Right. So for him to walk away with just a bogey after that penalty, you got to look at it and go, now that was some phenomenal scrambling.
Incredible scrambling. And so then usually most golfers, that's going to rattle their mental state of mind.
Because the situation is he was up.
Right. And now
after this hole,
he has lost the lead for the first time in the tournament.
Yes.
With only 6 holes left to play.
And he started the day up 3.
Up 3.
And so now he's down 1.
He's had a rough day.
Yes, it hasn't looked good. It hasn't looked pretty at all. And we're going to see in the next few holes what Jordan Spieth is made of. And as I looked at it, I was like, yeah, he lost it right there.
Boy, you really thought so. And then he steps up on the next hole, which is a par 3, and almost jars it.
Almost hits an ace.
The ball bounces about 1.5 inches behind the hole.
Right. Almost hits an ace. If you were in gymnastics, it's what's called sticking it.
Yeah.
He stuck it.
He stuck it. And Kuchar hit a good shot to the middle of the green where you're supposed to on that hole.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan then proceeds to go birdie, eagle, birdie, birdie. Makes a 52-foot putt on the next hole.
50-footer followed by a 30-footer.
So they get to 18, and he's built a lead back there where he can just play easy on 18.
Yes.
Matt Kuchar is playing the best golf he can, and it shows you, while I do believe any given week there are 40 golfers that can win a tournament, the disparity between the number 1 golfer and the number 40 golfer in any tournament is minute. But where it's made up is that final day when you have to hit the shots. Nothing wrong with the way Matt Kuchar played. He shot under par on the final day.
I don't feel at all like he lost
Not
this
at all.
major. I feel as though Jordan Spieth won this major.
Went out and took it.
He didn't just win it, though, on the final day.
No.
He played phenomenally well the 3 days prior to that.
He had a bad, really 13 holes and happened to put them all together at the same time.
Right.
But he recovered so incredibly. That right there is the reason Jordan Spieth will go down as a better golfer all time than Greg Norman. Greg Norman could never.
No, he would have never recovered.
And so Jordan Spieth, now what did he do? He won his 3rd major by the time before he was 24.
Yes. Now he's 24 now, I believe. I think he turned
today. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow's his birthday. Yeah, so tomorrow he turns 24. But today he's only the second youngest ever to win 3 majors behind Jack Nicklaus, who's decent.
He's a pretty good guy.
You know, Tiger won his 3rd by the time he was 24 and I think 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't put him on the pedestal yet as far as greatest golfers of all time. It takes time. What have we always talked about, Vince? There's got to be that 10-year window where at any given point in that 10 years, you are the best golfer on the planet.
I think that golf is such a funny sport because we've seen guys have phenomenal runs.
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much pressure on Jordan Spieth. I look at him and I say he has it. But sure enough, McIlroy, we still think he has it.
Yeah, but it's been 4 years.
It's been 4 years, and everyone's saying this next major, the PGA, sets up well for him. This should be this is his time to shine.
Sure.
But we start to put this pressure on guys looking for someone to be in the air of Tiger and Jack. I just think it's too much pressure. I think if you look at Jordan Spieth, now we talked about how many majors we think this guy could win.
Yeah.
And I think if he wins 8 majors, he's had a phenomenal career, and he will be the greatest golfer in Texas history.
Yeah.
So I hate to put him Tiger and Jack category, but I do believe something less than that is achievable. Even if he doesn't achieve it, though, I think that he's still going to go down as one of the all-time greats.
No doubt. And what is great is the fact that because of fitness and diet and things, these guys are dominant on the PGA Tour till 45, 46 years old now.
They sneak in, but some of these young guns now, man.
I know.
Some of these young guns are really, really pretty tough.
Oh, no, I get it.
On the course, so.
But that means Jordan's got... if you can stay dominant or competitive till 45,
20 years.
That's 88 more majors that he's got to potentially win. If he gets to 8 or 10, now you're talking Byron Nelson and Ben Hogan as far as the greatest Texas golfers of all time. I mean, that's because those two are considered in the conversation.
Right. Byron Nelson, Byron Nelson, yeah.
But you think about that; those two are considered in the conversation of top 5, top 10 greatest golfers ever.
Yes.
So
8 majors is nothing to sneeze at.
No. Lee Trevino.
The problem with society today when it comes to golf is that Tiger Woods made greatness look easy.
Mm-hmm.
And so you started expecting these feats that shouldn't be happening. Winning so many tournaments in a row, winning 4 majors in a row.
Right.
You know, being able to go out and close, I think at some point it was something like 70 out of 71 tournaments when he's got a 3rd-round lead. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
It's just ridiculous numbers
Right.
that he was putting up, and he made greatness look so easy that you start to look, where's the next Tiger? Where's the next Tiger?
Right.
These guys don't come around that often.
And that's the problem and we as fans do that. That's just our nature is,
Right.
I need there to be the next greatest of all time. If the next GOAT's not in line, who am I rooting for? What am I rooting for? Why am I rooting? And so we hang on to that. And, of course, in today's world where I can read about any sport 24 hours a day, I can get news about that sport given to me 24 hours a day. We have these expectations that we put on these athletes as fans that are so unobtainable.
And so after we stated that it's unfair for us to put these expectations on them, I'm going to ask you to put some expectations on them. Jimmy, go ahead.
No.
How many majors do you see for Jordan?
You know, realistically, I think you're talking 10 plus.
10 plus?
I do.
How many for Rory?
Rory, I put around 7 to 8.
7, 8. So you think ultimately, see, because I look at Rory, I actually see someone that I believe is going to be, I think he's a more talented golfer.
Don't disagree.
I think he's longer. I think that so many courses set up well for him, especially our majors.
Yeah.
You know, just from a talent perspective, I think Jordan's a better putter, but I've seen that putting thing come and go with guys for years on end. And what you can have at 24, you may not have at 30.
So here's why I think Jordan, out of and let's name the pantheon right now that we deal with. You've got Dustin Johnson, Jason Day, Jordan Spieth.
That's it. That's
Ricky wants to be in there, but he doesn't have. He
doesn't have those pins on the wall.
You know my position. I think Ricky is the American Sergio Garcia. He's going to be in contention in a lot of tournaments, but he's not winning majors. So.
I think Rory's the most naturally talented golfer.
Of course. Now, when I look at those 5 golfers, the one thing that I see that Jordan has a complete difference about him versus all the others, physicality. Those other guys are all weightlifting fools.
Yeah, they can overpower courses.
Yes, but in the long run, what was one of the most common themes about Tiger's collapse? He got big. He got strong. Nothing wrong with being strong. I think Dustin Johnson is the right kind of strong. He's super long, lean, lanky. But in the end, Jordan is a better putter than all of them, and I think that will continue to carry him. Because when you have one thing that you do that is so much better than everybody else, all of those guys, say for Jordan, hit the ball 340.
Yeah.
That is not a problem. All of those guys are great ball strikers. They all have great sand play. But it's Jordan's putting that Vince, we've both been in the financial planning world, right?
That's right.
Which years are more important in the investing world, the first 5 or the last 5?
It's the first 5. We got to set a good foundation.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, because I can miss the mark a few times off the tee. I can recover from that. If I miss a 4-foot putt, that's the equivalent of the tee shot. It still counts as one stroke.
I understand your analogy. I understand where you're going.
But what I'm getting at is when I have the ability to have less risk when I'm closer to the hole, that's when I think it's the same in financial planning. The less risk I've got to when I need the money.
Okay, I thought you were talking about more along the lines of when is it most important
right,
to start.
And that's why I asked it that way, because I can easily see it that way as well.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about when is it most important to start.
No, but I just believe that Jordan's ability to overcome the toughness of greens makes him an overall better golfer than those other guys.
Well, what I give but I also see it in Rory. We haven't seen it as of late. And I do believe with golf, and I probably wouldn't have been able to observe this, but being someone who's now watched it, and I've seen it on a few athletes in the golf world, family life eventually takes from your game.
No doubt.
And so what we see out of him at 24, you let him get married, you let him have a few kids, and maybe you're not, and you put a couple of $100 million in the bank account. maybe you're not getting up at dark 30
Right.
to go hit drives.
I am glad you brought that up because when you look at Dustin Johnson just had his second kid.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these guys all could quit today, and there's more than enough money.
Absolutely.
More than enough money to do anything they want to do.
Absolutely.
So it's not that I don't think that DJ has the drive and that Rory doesn't have the drive and Jason Day doesn't have the drive. It's not my concern at all. It's the fact that these guys are all going down that road right now, and they've had some things come about. Family-wise, Jason Day, his mom got sick last year with the cancer.
Right.
Rory got married, had to change equipment companies. There are some things there that end up hurting the game in the short term.
I think he had a girlfriend at one time, another athlete girlfriend.
Yeah, Wozniacki, Carrie Lam.
When he broke up and his golf game.
A month before the wedding.
Yeah.
And his golf game took off.
His golf game took off. You got to love that, right?
But it's true, and for those of us, Vince, I can look at the people listening right now. We can easily say, really, is focus that big a deal? Because no matter how hard I focus, I don't have the talent to do what they do.
Right.
So they're at the level where they have the talent. The focus is what makes that talent even better.
Yes.
And so if you can keep that zoned in, I think one of the reasons Jordan was so good is because Juanita, even though they ended up getting divorced, Juanita carried that family and took care of everything. You never heard about children. You never heard about her. It was always Jordan on the court. Now then the gambling things came about and all that, and we had to go away for a little while. But when the focus is there, guys like that, there's pretty much nothing you can do to beat them. Now, I'm not going to say Jordan's going to win every tournament he plays in.
But his focus, his laser focus is almost unparalleled. Tiger Woods was like that pre-marriage as well. You went into the tournament almost feeling like it was already over because he was so mentally focused and he wasn't friendly on the course. I mean, his job, he looked at it as a job.
Right.
My job is to destroy you.
Yes.
And everyone related to you.
Yes.
And he approached it that way.
It's the reason, if you were in the final pairing with Tiger when he had a lead on the final day,
right,
you were going to shoot 80. You were just sitting back watching like the rest of the fans because
he's an intimidating presence.
It made you think to yourself, maybe I'm not that good of a golfer.
The stuff that he could do, you could not.
Right. I can do what they can do, but they can't do what I can do.
And we saw it over and over. I mean, Phil's an absolutely phenomenal golfer, but playing with Tiger on the last day, you just had no confidence in him back in the day.
You never thought he was going to win. So, but yeah, this British Open, it truly made me think that Jordan has what it takes to now overcome the adversity, because something like that Masters can stick with you a long time. We talked about it with Dustin Johnson not winning the U.S. Open that Jordan ended up winning at Chambers Bay up in Washington. Dustin Johnson had 2 easy putts to get to a playoff and didn't make either one of them.
That golf shirt just gets heavy, man.
I know.
And these are guys that I promise you put them there without the stress and the pressure of that situation.
They make it
98 out of 100.
Right.
I mean, it's like what was that? The '98 Bulls against Carmelo.
Yeah.
The mailman doesn't deliver on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's similar to that.
Yeah.
That golf shirt gets pretty heavy. Man.
Yeah. So, but really enjoyable watch. Again, it can be boring, but guys, if I can encourage you, take a chance. And realistically, the PGA is not the one to do it. Of all the majors, it's kind of the stepchild.
Right.
But it is at Quail Hollow this year, which is a really fun course to watch the way it's set up. But I would tell you, even if it's not until next year's Masters, give it a chance to watch the pressure these guys are put through on a Sunday. And the nice thing about the Masters especially, no commercials.
You know what? I love the interaction with the caddy.
Yes.
Because the caddies are feeling pressure too.
Oh, yeah.
You can almost see it on their faces. You get a bad shot. I mean, the caddies like, what do we do? Well, just Jordan's caddy actually brought some levity to the situation. I understand. Kind of loosened him up a little bit. And one thing you can say, those last 5 holes, playing them 5 under.
Unbelievable golf. And on that kind of stage where golf is born, because the fans over there can be ruthless.
Right.
They can be ruthless in Britain. So, very, very enjoyable to watch, Vince. So, good conversation.
All right. So next, let's get into something that's been fun for me to watch from afar, Jimmy, and that's the saga going on in the land, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Just recently, for those that are uninitiated, Kyrie Irving, who is the teammate of LeBron James, who is the Cleveland superstar, and who has gone to the finals with LeBron for the last 3 seasons running, actually won a championship in 2016. Kyrie Irving hit the big bucket over Steph Curry that I would say brought home the championship.
Yes.
Kyrie Irving, superstar in his own right, max player, so he's getting max money, has requested a trade. And for all intents and purposes, it's because he doesn't like being the second banana to LeBron James.
Yeah.
Thoughts on it, Jimmy?
So it boggles my mind because you are going back to the finals.
Yes.
You are going back to the finals.
2 years left on your deal.
2 years left on your deal. You've gotten, for those of you tuned in, we talked about how Boston has become more competitive and should give the Eastern Conference playoffs a bit better run.
Yes.
But realistically, you are still head and shoulders above Boston.
I agree with that assessment. And he's only 25, people.
And the guy just, it's not, it wasn't like there was a build-up to this. This was just one day, why don't you go ahead and trade me?
I saw a couple of flare-ups on the sideline this past season. I think it was in the first round where LeBron started barking at Kyrie, and I mean, he completely just tuned him out. And it went on for like about 60 seconds where Kyrie didn't even make eye contact.
Well, I guess I didn't see that, man.
Yeah. And so it gave me the notion there's a little bit of friction there because he wasn't even acknowledging LeBron. And don't get me wrong, people. I know some people believe that I'm pretty hard on LeBron. But I think there is something to be desired from a leadership perspective from LeBron James. I can remember, I think it was not this season, but last season, where he took 2 weeks off. Yeah. You're LeBron, you get to do that.
Sure.
But when I'm a superstar player in my own right, I think it's remember the Titans. Attitude reflect leadership. And LeBron James just stepping in gonna go vacation with my boys for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
This isn't quite that important to me. No one else on the team can do this. That's all right, I still can. That has to rub Kyrie Irving the wrong way.
Of course it does.
And don't get me wrong, I think that Kyrie Irving, just like any other player out there, owes LeBron a certain amount of respect because LeBron James has single-handedly reversed the power structure in the league and put it in the hands of the players.
Sure.
He's done that. But on that same note, what LeBron is always talking about is players get out here and protect your brand. Yeah. And LeBron has a tendency to put his brand in front of his team.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that Kyrie Irving has a problem with. And now Kyrie is taking note and he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my brand in front of the team. It's a sticky situation, Jimmy.
It really is. And you guys know both our frustrations with how when the NBA is so top-heavy, it makes the playoffs, which is one of the best parts of all the sports seasons, the NBA playoffs, and it made it as boring as could be this year.
This was the worst NBA playoffs I can remember ever seeing. And I've been watching the NBA playoffs since, probably 1984 is probably latest. That first Magic Lakers.
Yeah.
Tragic Johnson. I think I go back that far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat.
83.
83 was Philly.
83 was Philly. Okay,
yeah.
So 84.
So you go back that far, and it's been phenomenal, especially through the meat of our NBA growth, which was obviously Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls.
Right.
You had teams that hated each other. One, I'm frustrated. My frustration will continue because teams don't hate each other anymore because they know at any given moment we can all put something together and we have to play together. So when you look at
Kyrie hates LeBron.
Well, Kyrie, yes. So, but when you do this, when you step outside of that, because that's a taboo in today's NBA. You've just taken the most dominant team in the East that is 1 year removed from a title, and taken player position number 2 on that team and has gone, it's so bad to me that I don't want the opportunity for the title.
Let me ask you this. If you are Cleveland management,
okay,
are you looking to trade Kyrie Irving?
Not at all. Not at all. But go ahead. You want to say something?
Well, I was just going to agree with you. I was just going to say I don't believe that you can. You're not going to get back equal value for Kyrie Irving.
Nothing close.
And if I'm not getting back equal value, and I still got him under contract for another 2 years, and LeBron for only 1,
right?
And in 1 year, I fully expect LeBron James to do the LeBron James thing, explore his options, and probably sign elsewhere.
Yes.
I need a contingency plan.
Right.
Kyrie Irving can be that plan.
Right.
I can build around this guy as my star. So if I'm Cleveland management, I agree with you. I don't think you trade Kyrie.
Right, and that's what I was just about to say. You're not going to get anything close to Kyrie because Kyrie, top 6, top 7 player in the league.
At least top 7.
Yeah.
I'll give him at least top 7.
So when I have 2 of the top 7 in the league as part of my starting lineup, paired with the Kevin Love, who's still a usable player, an above-average player, I have a chance to win a title. And they proved last year that even when the stakes are high against us, we can pull this out. So if I'm Cleveland management, Kyrie, buddy, we want to help, but you owe us, and you're under contract, and this is what is going to happen. Now, the fear is, of course, I'm getting my money because it's guaranteed.
Right. My calf.
Oh.
My ankle.
My ankle.
My knee.
My kidney.
Fingernail. Got to take off tonight.
Pulled my flactoid. I don't even know what that is.
What do you say when you just let LeBron go for 2 weeks and he decided he wants to get his 2 weeks in?
And while LeBron did bring that power back to the players, this is what you end up getting with that.
Yes.
And so, what's the happy medium? There isn't one. We know that. You either have the owner-dominated league that if you're in that market, you may see your owner, because TV revenue is more than enough to pay their bills.
Right.
That they just go, I'll field whatever. I'll make sure I put a team out there and spend the minimum amount I have to, and then we'll win 20 games. It doesn't matter. I'm still making money.
That's right.
So that's the problem with the owner-dominated league. But in the player-dominated league, this is what you're going to get, because now it is my brand over team brand. And at least you don't have Elton Brand. But
we've had him here.
Yeah. But this is all evolving into the drama of 2 people ruining an amazingly good squad.
You know, I call into question LeBron's leadership as far as that team goes, because when's the last time, and I know Jordan was difficult to play with, and maybe it just never came out, but do you recall anyone saying they didn't want to play with Mike?
No.
And I think he socked Steve Kerr in the face. But everyone knew, playing with this guy, I'm going to compete, I'm going to win championships. You never heard that. Now, we did hear it about Kobe.
All the time.
We heard about
all the time.
Now, you do know Kobe and Kyrie are supposed to be like Flick and Frack.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't shock me at all if Kobe put a little bug in his ear saying, hey, Kyrie, I think that you're good enough to run your own show. You don't have to pay second fiddle to anyone. Like Shaq. Right? So it wouldn't surprise me if Kobe initiated that conversation.
Yeah, I don't doubt that could happen. Phoenix is a great fit for him. Phoenix is rebuilding. Phoenix is going to be what I think Portland's been the past few years. That quiet team that has the good enough team. They need the break.
They're starting to get some young talent in Phoenix. They really
are. The Phoenix that I remember, you can go back early to the Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers days, built in with Dan Marley and Jeff Hornacek.
Thunder Dan.
But, if Phoenix can end up kind of ruffling some feathers by getting Kyrie, the West is only getting better. The biggest problem with all this is he's going to go West, and it's going to further cut into what the East does, which means we still have to figure out a way. I got to get Adam Silver's email, see if we can get the Mavs over in the East.
Cubes brought it up. He's got $1 billion. He can make it happen.
I know.
At least we hope.
And he answers all emails, so let me get on that.
There you go.
But I don't know. This is a disruption that the East cannot afford.
But do you think that I want to talk about LeBron's leadership in this, because
Okay.
I think a lot of LeBron saying we're not good enough. We need more talent. We need more talent. Sometimes you get guys in the league these days that are pretty sensitive, and it wouldn't surprise me if Kyrie was taking that as a personal assault on him.
I don't disagree with you at all.
So we're not talented enough. I'm not a good enough player.
Right.
You feel like you need better than me on this team?
I mean, look, if you go out to yourselves and your boss tomorrow, we got to get better. We got to get better. So you do everything you can to get better. Well, what we're doing is not good enough. We got to get better. At some point, you start looking at yourself and go, maybe I need to move. Maybe,
Right.
Maybe
Right.
this job isn't for me.
And I don't know Kyrie to be a selfish player prior to this.
I don't know anything about him prior to this.
Well, I knew that at one point he said that he didn't believe that he thought the moon landing was faked or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I heard that.
And thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, the Earth is flat. But maybe he was just joking on those points, and I'm going to take him that he was joking because I hear that he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
But all of these guys, this is the NBA today. Everybody has a brand, and everybody has an out-of-control ego. So it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if he just walked in and said, you know what? I want to be a number one somewhere. Pat Riley used to call it the disease of me.
Yeah.
The disease of me. And I think that Kyrie, with some success, that's when you normally see that outbreak. And I think that you may be experiencing the disease of me. Because what do I got a ring.
Oh, yeah.
I got a ring.
Right.
So now I need to do what I want to do that I believe is going to make me happy.
And that's a great point you bring up. Most of these guys never see a ring. Most of them never do. Karl Malone never saw a ring.
One.
Charles Barkley never saw a ring. These are guys that, if I'm starting a team at power forward, those two are in the conversation of, I've got the fourth pick. Okay, I'll take either one of those. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, so getting that ring is highly coveted, and something I do believe there are two different types of players. There are I got one, so I'm going to get five. The Kobes, the Jordans, the Magics, the Birds.
Right.
And then there are the ones that are, I got the one. Now I'm just going to get my dollars up.
Now it's about me.
Right.
I've sacrificed for the team.
Exactly. And he's going to get money. I mean, Kyrie Irving's another guy that he's 25. So you think about it, he's got two more big deals in front of him.
At least.
So he's got another 200.
Chris Paul is going to be making $40 million,
Right.
38.
Right. So
maybe
Kyrie Irving's at $250 million that's coming down the pipe.
Well, you know what? That's another thing. He's giving up millions of dollars because he can't get the Supermax deal if Cleveland trades him.
Exactly.
So he's willing to sacrifice the millions of dollars. I almost got to say it's got to be because he just doesn't want to play with LeBron.
And at this point, that's all that it really is, because we all can ask the question, how much is enough? We can always ask that. We talked about it last show that Dirk left $73 million on the table. Not that he's not doing fine, because he still made over $200 million in his career.
Right.
But at some point, these guys, they get so ingrained and focused on whether it's the Supermax deal or just the max contract, or they get the mindset of, can I play with my boys and go hopefully win a title? There's never the mindset of, can I go build something that's our own?
That's what made Dirk a special athlete.
Exactly.
Because he never demanded a trade. He never pressured Cubes to bring in talent. All he ever said, he never pushed Cubes into the luxury tax.
Right.
He pretty much said, I'm willing to take a discount for you guys to bring in talent.
Right.
Not, I want you, Mark Cuban, who has $1 billion,
right,
to go out here and go find the talent, who's got $3 or $4 billion.
Right.
I'm going to sacrifice my millions.
Right.
When you've got billions. Because I would have left it to Cubes to pay the luxury tax.
Wouldn't have cared in the least.
I wouldn't have cared in the least.
Yeah, so that's not me paying it? That's you? Yeah, I'm good with that.
We're good with that.
Yeah, let's do more of you paying that. Yeah.
Right. I'm a millionaire, you're a billionaire. That's coming out of your pocket. So, but that's a special type person. And like you say, he's the type guy who says, I don't need everything as long as I have enough for me.
And that's why when this first came out, I thought to myself, does Kyrie come to Dallas?
Well, if he's demanding a trade from Cleveland, and I could see this and I could understand it, that means he wants New York or L.A.
Right. Because the problem is my initial thought was if he comes to Dallas, immediately we lose Dennis Smith Jr.
Oh, I wouldn't sacrifice. Here's the thing. Here's a question for you. Who's more valuable to that franchise right now, Kyrie Irving or LeBron James?
See, I think Kyrie because of what you had just brought up a moment ago. You can rebuild when LeBron, it's not if, it's when LeBron leaves.
And LeBron's 33 going on 34? Kyrie's 25.
Yeah.
If I'm looking 3-4 years down the road, and as a GM, just to give you guys some numbers here, as a GM, you really work with about a 3 or 4 year window.
Right.
So you're always projecting out what's going to happen in 3 to 4 years. That's your job. And so when you look at Cleveland, you should be looking at Kyrie Irving saying to yourself, this is a guy I can't afford to lose because who wants to play in freaking Cleveland
Nobody.
with no LeBron and no Kyrie?
Right. But do you think it also is coincidental that Cleveland is in management disarray while he brings this up?
I think Chauncey Billups knew what was going on.
Yep.
I think he knew there was friction between Kyrie and LeBron. You got LeBron, and I believe Stephen A. saying he'd whoop Kyrie's butt if he was in the front of him. So I think that Chauncey Billups got wind of it because these players know players.
Oh.
And Chauncey's not too far removed
Right.
from being a player. I think he got wind of it and said, I want no part of that.
You're offered a GM job with no front office experience, and you're offered a GM job of a championship-winning team 1 year removed, and you said,
I'm good.
I'm good. You know what? I'm going to do the things that are less stressful.
You know what? I would be doing that, but I got this 3-ball tournament with Ice Cube.
Right.
I'd rather go do that for the summer. I mean, it didn't even make sense, but
No.
now it does.
It totally does.
Now it does.
And so we hear about it. How long had that been brewing before? It had to, like I said,
Probably for a year.
Right. And so that's why I like what you say about with Chauncey. Chauncey's coming in there going, before I say yes, I got a couple calls I'm going to make.
Right.
And he starts getting the information, putting the pieces together. You have to be a detective before you go into that environment. Because if you walk in to, what's the first order of business? I got to trade Kyrie? Wait, you mean the guy...
The game-winning shot?
Yeah, the second best player on my team that we have under contract? I got to trade him? What? You didn't know that a week ago before I got hired? So, I mean, I think this is just going to further make it difficult for Cleveland as an organization to continue to improve. But they're still so far ahead above any other team in the East.
Well, they still don't have a GM.
I know.
I take that back. I think they did end up promoting someone here recently.
It's interim, though.
Yeah, it's interim.
Yeah.
Nobody was coming.
No.
You could probably get Phil. Good luck with that.
Could you imagine Phil going to Cleveland?
But you could probably get Phil.
Scotty! Scotty! Triangle!
Triangle!
Scotty! Get it to Ho!
Triangle! So I think Cleveland's a mess right now, even though they still have the most talent in the East.
Yeah.
When this is a reflection on Dan Gilbert and his leadership.
Or lack thereof.
What
is it with owners named Dan that just destroy their franchises?
Speaking of, Jimmy.
Is that a nice segue?
That's a nice segue.
Chimpanzee riding on a Segway.
You can't do it any better than that. There's another owner that I'm going to get into named Dan. How are we doing for time, Jimmy?
You know,
are we I don't want to spend too much time.
It's 9:20. We got time.
And I know that this is something that you as a Redskins fan had to absolutely love. Let's talk Dan Gilbert, Washington Redskins.
Dan Snyder.
Oh, Dan.
I know.
Yeah. Dan, put them all together. They're all inept. Dan Snyder, Washington Redskins, and Kirk Cousins. I know this has to be your favorite subject right now.
Okay. In a world in the world of football, where the number one position is so far more important than any other position on the team, quarterback.
Yes.
You have a guy, and nobody's calling Kirk Cousins the best quarterback in the league. No one's saying that.
Where do you think he falls? Top 10?
I'd
top
say
15?
yeah, like 8, 9, or 10, that area. And here's the reason.
We'll have that discussion one day, too, people.
You know what? Actually, now that you say it, I'm thinking more like 11 or 12. It's more like 11 or 12. Because I'm discounting. I'd still put guys like Breeze over him.
Oh, definitely.
So he's got youth. This is be the 5th year. That's the shocking part, is to think that 5 years ago when he was drafted in the 4th round, when they traded the farm to get RG3 in the 1st. 2 spots they moved up.
This is Dan Snyder, people.
Dan Snyder, and we saw this with Jerry Jones for a while as well. They played real fantasy football with real money. And they made trade after trade where you're going...
You're just scratching your head. You're wondering, what was he thinking?
Yeah, Dan Snyder's the guy that he brought in Bruce Smith well after he should have retired. He brought in Albert Haynesworth, gave him a 7-year, $100 million deal for a known thug.
And for only 1 season.
1 season.
We're going to screw our cap up for the next 4 years.
Yes. Brought in Dion at the end of Dion's prime.
At the end of Dion's prime, yes.
The drafting, the running through of GM after GM after GM, and blaming it on them when he's, like Jerry, was really the one pulling the reins. So Dan Snyder, again, when you give somebody too much money, they end up inflicting more pain than they do benefit. And so now you have Kirk Cousins, a guy that has proven that he can at least play the position efficiently.
Yes, he has.
Kirk Cousins puts up stats. He puts the ball in the money. He's not an interception thrower. Now, has he won a big game? He has not. The Skins had to win 1 game at the end of last year, and they had 3 of their last 4 at home and couldn't do it.
Right.
So I do put that on the quarterback at that point. I mean, you got to be able to win me 1 game. So... but with that, Kirk Cousins gets the franchise tag for a 2nd year, so he's going to get $24 million this year. Is that right?
23.9.
So now, let me do this. I'm going to go crazy for just a second. I'm going to look at it from a logical Dan Snyder position.
Okay, let me hear it.
Dan Snyder is looking at it going, okay, you don't want to sign a long-term deal? I'm going to franchise you, or that transition tag that hardly anybody uses.
It never gets that far, and it never gets that far with a quarterback.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, the transition tag, basically, it's kind of like when you have a restricted free agent in the NBA. He can talk to other teams. They can make him offers.
You have a right.
I have the right to match it.
There you go. So,
if I'm Dan Snyder, I'm now looking at it going, I got another year of evaluation. I'm not expecting to win. Realistically, that team's at best 7-9. At best, more like a 6-10. And that's saying something in the NFC East. So, but with that being said, I get to evaluate him another year. If I want to franchise him a 3rd year, which technically they can do, that franchise transition tag, I pay him $37 million.
They could not do that. That would explode the salary cap. You can't.
Because then you're giving 20% of your cap to one player.
And the thing about this is, it's called screwing the pooch, Jimmy. It's called screwing the pooch.
I agree.
And that's what the Washington Redskins have done. Now, I could understand the first franchise tag because we give you a wait and see.
Sure.
We go ahead and we say, you know what? We're going to franchise you so that we don't have to bear any future risk.
Right.
Until we have a better idea of what we have.
Right.
But you screw the pooch when after that year you don't get a long-term deal done.
Or get a quarterback.
You
didn't draft anybody.
Or nobody to develop. You have
no leverage.
No leverage. And then you roll out and you badmouth your quarterback to the masses that you just sent out of franchise. A guy you just agreed to pay $23.9 million, you want to badmouth him, and mispronounce his name.
Right, multiple times.
That's like the GM for Aaron Rodgers calling him Fred.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with Fred.
And here's
It's a laughable situation.
It's very laughable. Unless you're a fan, then you're tearing things off the wall. Dude, it is killing me because I'm sitting here going, how many times do we have to say it, Vince? The one thing that I want my team to give me is hope. I want to know that there's an opportunity, and it may not be for this year. I'm not realistic. I'm not unrealistic in thinking that the Redskins are going to win the Super Bowl every year. But if you're not growing,
that was a shot at me there, Jimmy.
No.
I think you're implying that I want the Cowboys to win. I expect them to win every year.
Yes, most Cowboy fans assume that they should just bring the trophy here. We'll go ahead and play the season, and if somebody happens to win the championship,
we'll give that
to them. But realistically, it's ours until. Even though we are, is it year 22 now without a title? We're going into?
I'd call that fake news, Jimmy.
That is. CNN must have reported that.
I don't know where that's.
You can't trust Wikipedia.
You can't, not at all.
So, but now you've taken a situation where, again, you're wrapping more money up into a guy that you're putting no faith in, so he has to put no faith in you. Kirk Cousins, the way the NFL is now, Kirk Cousins is going to get his $100 million deal next year from someone.
And that's the crazy thing. You could have offered him a contract that you're pretty much essentially boxing yourself into a corner to pay or release that he's going to get anyway, probably from your old offensive coordinator.
I know.
I have no earthly idea what the Washington Redskins are doing. I found it completely laughable. I read the statement. I wrote this down. We offered Kurt the highest fully guaranteed amount, $53 million, in NFL history upon signing, and guaranteed $72 million for injury. Now, that sounded great until you realize he's on a franchise tag now for $23.9.
Right. So 24 of that's already guaranteed.
And if they transition him next year, that's $28.8. So $52.7 million is essentially guaranteed to him. And you're offering $53. So $300,000. You think I'm going to play for $300,000, I'm going to give up my leverage because what I could go out here and do is play under your 53, then play under your 52. I've made that. Then I'm going to backdoor that and sign a $100 million deal with a $30 million signing bonus and another $30 million roster bonus.
Right.
So I'm going to make another $60 million plus an additional probably 15 to 20 in guarantees.
Right.
I have no business signing your contract.
At all.
Bring me something with some substantial amount of guarantees that have that. It's
unreal.
It's unreal that they even brought this to him. And for him to say no quarterback has that level of guarantee, that was a BS lie.
Oh, I can make the numbers say whatever I want them to say because
they're not counting the extensions.
And that's what I'm saying.
Most athletes get extensions. Most quarterbacks get extensions.
I know. And
Andrew Luck has $87 million guaranteed in his deal.
Right. Right.
Barring injury, it's $87 million flatly guaranteed. And though Kirk Cousins is not worth $100 million,
not at all.
In my estimation, okay, he's. I won't say he's not worth it. What I will tell you is his play on the field doesn't justify it.
There you go.
But you are worth what people are willing to pay you.
And we know in sports today, all of us agree that most players are significantly overpaid because we don't make that. We don't make that. But Kirk Cousins is going to give you a really good effort most Sundays.
Kirk Cousins is going to make more than Aaron Rodgers.
And that's hurtful.
He's going to make more than Aaron Rodgers, more than Cam Newton, more than Drew Brees. He's going to be the highest paid quarterback until, who's the next big one to get signed? Probably until Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I was about to say Dak Prescott.
And you know Jerry pays his QBs. So
right.
It's going to happen here.
Right, so yeah.
They screwed the pooch, Jimmy.
I know.
They laughably screwed the pooch.
I was just about to say, Derek Carr already got his.
Yes.
He got his money. I mean,
Derek Carr got $75 million guaranteed.
So that's the thing, is the quarterback consumes a large chunk of the salary cap.
Yes.
So, but rightfully so. It is I touch the ball on every play.
And what also gets me is, okay, you're not wanting to pay him a lot of money now. Well, let's be frank. You did get 2 good years where this man was on a 4th round draft pick salary.
Sure.
And you weren't paying him $1 million. And now you don't want to give him anything?
But Here, and I think they look at a number of things, like take the Russell Wilson situation. We may see it in the Dak Prescott situation. Right now, the Cowboys, with the La'el Collins extension, they're now going to have 4 of their offensive linemen making at least $8 million. Mm-hmm. You can only do that when your quarterback is making league minimum.
That's right. We are benefiting.
Russell Wilson in Seattle, they were in the same boat with their offensive line was great and that defense was stout because Russell Wilson was still on his rookie deal and they won a Super Bowl.
You better strike while the iron's hot.
You have to do that. But again, so where's the quarterback that Washington's developing to be able to do that? He's not been drafted yet.
Where's the replacement? Okay. Maybe I would look at it different and I wouldn't find it so laughable if Washington was like QB country.
Right.
The best quarterback in your history was Joe freaking Theismann. You can go, you can go ripping.
I may say Sonny Jurgensen, but
okay, well, wherever it's been 50 years.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's like the Bears. I mean, look at it. It's the Bears franchise when it comes to QBs.
And you get one that's halfway decent,
and you're just like,
play. No,
dime a dozen.
You could have avoided this by last year extending it. All he wanted, if you would have offered him $19 million per,
right,
you would have gotten him signed. He would have took that long-term security, and you didn't have to give up phenomenal amounts of guarantees. You probably could have guaranteed $40 million. He would have been ecstatic to have that.
Of course.
But now he's got multi-generational wealth because I'm getting $52 million in the next couple of seasons, and guess what? Enough's enough, Jimmy. Isn't that what you said?
No, and so as a fan, as a diehard Redskins fan, I am struggling to find this mythical hope that we talk about. Because if I'm Kirk Cousins, knowing that I have all of this coming to me from somewhere,
yes,
I don't stretch out for that extra 3 yards. You know what? I don't want to hurt my interception numbers, so I'm just going to throw that one out of bounds and we'll punt.
And I'm telling you, you got to understand the when you have a guy that's on his rookie deal and he was a 4th-round pick, his desire is to get paid.
Yes.
And so if you dangle just a little bit of money, a little bit,
he'll take it in a heartbeat.
He'll take it in a heartbeat. He's not going to pressure you to give him $52.7 million.
Right.
You had the opportunity. You screwed the pooch. You did.
Well, that's what happens when you have an alcoholic GM.
That's what happens. Well, we got an alcoholic owner, so I mean,
well, that's a good point.
That's how you go 22 years.
Yeah. Give me some more of that Johnny Blue. I want me some glory hole.
I want some glory hole. There you go. I want some glory hole this year too,
dude. You look at it, and again, if you're any other team, it's laughable. If it's your own team, it's. You know what I look at this as? It's. Again, all the bad trading, so we end up drafting the Heath Schulers, the Patrick Ramseys.
They've forgotten this, obviously.
Right, yeah.
You need to send a letter to Dan Snyder,
right,
just a phone call. List all the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'll just print off the Wikipedia page of the historic draft picks and go, you did this.
Just highlighting all the buzz.
Hey, in case no one's brought this up to you.
Right.
But again, so now what does this do? You're now hamstrung for the next 3 to 4 years because you have no developmental player to come in. They got lucky drafting Kirk Cousins with RG3.
Yes.
You got a guy that everybody knew was a good classic pocket passer at Michigan State, and there were even players because remember they changed RG3 was a mobile quarterback and they wanted to make him a pocket passer even though still running the read option.
Right.
Which I don't know how that works, but so be it. I'm not Shanahan. But Shanahan rode his knees into the ground for the playoffs and ruined a player. And there's a reason that RG3 today is in the same place that Johnny Manziel is.
And Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, these are guys that have had successful runs and they have no job. So, I don't know. I look at it now going, next year's draft means unless somehow Tom Brady just goes, you know what, it'd be fun to play in the nation's capital. And I don't think that's going to happen. But you now have to draft next year, which means I'm going to bring in a rookie that I'm going to end up doing like Chicago did. I'm going to make some stupid trade to move up 2 spots to get a guy that has, 11 starts in his...
So the minute you get draft capital, you're going to spend it.
Of course. And it's only going to ruin the team because that's another year that your decent left side of the line is going to be getting older.
And wasted.
So, like anything, we talk about it with blowing up the Rangers, and this is my segue into that. It's at some point when they all realize this is done, the effort.
It wanes.
They know that they have the heart to be champions and they have the heart to play, but the effort's not there anymore.
Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to spend a little time and laugh at the Washington Redskins because I was really perturbed at the fact that I thought they really had a decent draft. It was a good draft. Yeah, it was a good draft. I was a little perturbed by that because I was like, are they really starting to turn it around? And then how they screwed up the Kirk Cousins thing, I was like, we're still okay.
Yeah.
We're still okay. Dan Snyder, thank you.
Nope.
Thank you. And Jimmy Clark, as a Redskins fan, I have no sympathy for you.
Nope.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, so we got 23 minutes.
23. I don't think the Rangers are going to take that long.
No.
And then we'll talk a little bit of Cowboy, a little Lucky Whitehead. 23 minutes on the Rangers. Let's wrap it up quick. Buy or sell?
You sell. You say
Sell.
Yeah, who wants what? I mean,
this is Trading Places,
yeah,
1981.
Exactly.
Sell.
Bring them in. It's just tonight. We saw it tonight. I think we may have seen, and it ended up being terrible, the last of Yu Darvish's starts for the Rangers. Home run on the first pitch to D. Gordon, who had not had a home run in 2,300 at-bats.
I listened to it.
5 pitches later, he gets past Stanton. Next batter, gone. By the 4th inning, he's given up 9 earned runs on, I think it was 80 pitches through 4 innings. I mean, just...
It's gotten to the point as a Ranger fan, the only thing that we're able to really cheer for is Adrian Beltre hitting 3,000.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the team, and I have had hope. I've been clinging to it, Jimmy, like a 2-year-old to his mom's apron. I've been clinging to it, and even I now look up and I say, they're not going anywhere.
You know, and the crazy
even though Cole Hamels looked pretty good there for a little small
he
stretch,
did,
and his number, it wouldn't shock me if he ends up having a great second half to the season.
Oh yeah,
but bullpen's just
no one can hold it together. We live and die by the home run on both sides of the plate. We give up home runs like there's no tomorrow. Last night we go out and hit 5 of them. We are second, I believe, in the league in the percentage of our runs that are produced by the home run. It's like 47%.
We're pretty high as far as run producers overall.
Oh, because we have so many of these games where we score 10 runs.
But I can't understand. Yu Darvish's run support is like 3.2 runs per game.
Per 9, yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Did you hear that stat?
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
When he goes out, it's almost like the team just goes, you got it.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. And their bats just go silent. I mean, completely quiet.
This isn't even explainable.
It's not. But that, you know why? Because they're a mediocre team. They're a 500 team at best.
At best.
And I know.
At full strength, 500, huh?
Yeah. And the thing is, Vince, they're 3.5 out of the wild card. And I know
how the night's going to end up.
I know that, like any sport, just get in the tournament. Because if you make the wild card, you just got to win one game. And then you get a series. Any given day, we all know.
And I'm telling you, I see Cole Hamels picking it up in the second half. I know his last start was kind of rocky. I think the one before that was kind of rocky. But I'm seeing some things out of him. He's starting to reduce those walks. He's getting back to being the Cole Hamels that we...
He is. It's been great.
So if he gets that taken care of, I think he'll turn back into the pitcher that we're used to seeing. And I will tell you, he's the only reason, the only hope that I'm clinging to. Well, he and JD, because I was thinking maybe JD could get someone for Napoli, Lucroy, or one of the other guys.
Well, I think Lucroy probably goes back to Milwaukee, and we get a couple of the prospects that we traded to them. I think that ends up happening this week.
Well, I'm hoping JD does get a little youth infusion here because the cupboard is bare.
Oh.
And we need that from Yu Darvish. If you're going to trade Yu Darvish, what do you think about them trading him to Houston, though?
We all know there's the unwritten rules if you don't trade within your division.
Right.
if I have to see Yu Darvish pitch against us four times at the in the second half, that's going to be brutal because one, Houston's already stacked, and two, look at Yu Darvish, how well he's done in the juice box down there. He's dominant in that stadium.
Do you think you would end up re-signing with Houston? See, that's
No.
That's my question. Because if he's not going to re-sign with Houston, and if I can get prospects from Houston because this year is shot. If we're starting you,
I'm all for I'm all for the trade happening. I just think that whole mantra of you don't trade in your division is going to come out, and that's why I think he's going to the Dodgers or the Cubs.
I would trade in my division. I have no problem because I think Houston has the better farm system.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So if Houston has the better farm system, I want some of those guys. I think they've got 4 players in the top 50 as far as the farm system goes. So I want some of that. And you're almost delivering Houston a championship.
Right.
Dallas is coming back. That's Keuchel is coming back.
Keuchel, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming
McHugh
back.
just came back this past week. I mean, no, they're stacked. They took a little blow with Correa and his thumb injury, but here's the reality: if something happens that benefits the Rangers, with the Dodgers, you can get some prospects. You can also get cash considerations, which help us re-sign him next year.
Darvish?
Yeah.
I don't think Darvish is going to come back to Texas.
I think Darvish is going to go where whoever's going to give him the most money. I truly believe he's that type of guy.
You may be right. And I think if we are going to sign, what's the other guy from Japan that's supposed to be able to hit and pitch?
Ohtani.
If we are able to get Ohtani and then re-sign Darvish, that'll give us a better shot at re-signing Darvish.
Because you can at that. No. Well, here's the thing. For those who don't know, Ohtani is this guy that's leading the best hitter and the best pitcher in Japanese baseball right now.
Right.
His hero is Yu Darvish. So because of the new rules that stemmed from Darvish, from Tanaka, and who was the other one that the Yankees...
The posting fee.
Yeah, the posting fees and all that have been minimalized significantly. So you can feasibly get Darvish and Ohtani for like $48 million a year, which at that point, 2 stud pitchers for $24 million a year each is actually a good price. And remember, there's no salary cap in baseball. It ain't my money. It ain't your money. So
it's what you're willing to spend.
I don't care how much they pay the guys. I really don't. What I care about is are you going to put a product on the field? You for the last 6 years have instilled in my brain that we are a contending team.
Yes.
You better do something to keep that thought there. As selfish as it is, you owe me.
Texas, this market, the DFW market, we support winners. The minute you stop winning, you will see
gone.
You will see tarp, bro. I'm just telling you, we don't come out when there's nothing to see here.
When the Stars were bad there in the late 2010s and early portion of this decade, you can get seats easy. Dude, that used to be the cocaine and boob job crowd, and those tickets were 3 times face value. Every time.
I will tell you that there was a reason that Jerry Jones hired Bill Parcells.
No doubt.
And it wasn't because Bill was this phenomenal coach. He knew Bill Parcells, master at turning things around, would get some cheeks in the seat. Mm-hmm. Because he saw that decline, and after several years, he was worried about the bottom line.
Yep.
It's what Stone Cold said so.
So, as far as it goes, Vince, you've called me the master of doom and gloom all year, and it's only coming to fruition. That's the problem.
Hate to admit you were right, Jimmy. I'm going to hold out one more week.
Okay.
One more week before I tell you you're right, because you so seldom are. It's just hard for me to believe that you are.
I know.
So,
but I want to talk about I want to talk about somebody whose name does not live up to its meaning.
I'm with you. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. I talked about your skins. This is only fair. This is what you call a turnabout.
Yeah.
Play, people. Okay, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Unlucky Whitehead.
You want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, so Lucky Whitehead is accused of shoplifting in Virginia or West Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah. $40 worth of stuff, right?
Prince William County. Never even heard of it.
No, me neither. So, as we all know, because it's all over the news all the time, Dallas is a breeding ground for
the criminal element.
Yeah. thuggery. And
I hate that word.
I know.
Like thuggery. The criminal element.
The criminal element. He's so sophisticated.
Yeah, I write my curses in cursive.
So, Lucky Whitehead's approached and told, you missed a court date, there's a warrant out for your arrest, you were shoplifting in Virginia. His first reply is, I have no clue what you're talking about. Now, Lucky Whitehead's had a few things recently coming up as well that are just odd.
Yes.
His dog gets kidnapped, held for ransom.
$20,000? $20,000 for the dog?
By Bugatti Casino, local hip-hop artist apparently. Parents really gave him a forefront on that by naming him Bugatti Casino. Not a lot of jobs you can go into other than rapper than with that name.
Well, you got to go work at the Bugatti.
The Bugatti, yeah. But so Lucky Whitehead is about 17 seconds after he's told about this, and the Cowboys find out.
It was quick justice.
You gots to go.
Well, here's the thing. They called him in and they asked him for his story.
Yeah.
And apparently they weren't even willing, because I know they've got to have investigators.
Of course.
So they weren't even willing to pick up the phone and get the investigators on the line, do any investigative work. They were willing to believe this guy who, if you're in the NFL, people, you got to understand, you're making $30,000 a week minimum during the season. So they say, yeah, you probably did it, dude. $40? I can see you doing that.
I can see you doing that.
So you're pretty much saying, Lucky Whitehead, I believe you are an idiot.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
And you're lying to my face
and
because
you're a lying idiot.
Yes.
To boot.
Yes.
This is what you're saying. Instead of believing that this could be a case of mistaken identity, I believe that you would steal $40 worth of food, get arrested, and not say anything, and come to me with these lies.
Right.
That's what I believe.
That's what I believe. Now, Vince, let's think about how did this conversation go with Randy Gregory, with oh my God, I've lost all of the names now. Lawrence.
You got Jordan Lewis.
Found not guilty.
We drafted him with domestic violence charges on him.
Yes.
You got Greg Hardy, who we signed.
Yes.
After he pulled pistols on him. Damian Williams. He's got an assault rifle for a woman that he just ran over.
Right. But none of these guys do we cut immediately. We cut Lucky Whitehead with the conversation.
This is what you call the verdict of convenience.
No doubt. Because
Lucky Whitehead probably wasn't going to make the team.
Right.
He wasn't going to make the team because we just drafted a guy, Ryan, I forgot his last name, but Switzer, okay. And we drafted him to take Lucky Whitehead's place.
Sure.
And so we probably saw some things in minicamp that said, this guy's got something special. So
right.
now, hopefully he does. And so now we look at Lucky Whitehead as being expendable.
Sure.
And because he's expendable, we're going to set an example with him.
Right.
But, he was Lucky Whitehead was a scapegoat for the Damian Wilsons, the Nolan Carrolls, the Ezekiel Elliott's.
The problem is he's not guilty. The one they choose to make the example of, only in a lot of the court of public opinion, says you can't cut the right people.
Do you? Well, it's obvious that the punishment did not fit the crime because there was no crime.
Right.
Which means that you are inherently wrong. And even though you're inherently wrong, Jason Garrett gets in front of the media.
Oh, my gosh.
You saw this?
We made a decision that was in the best interest of the Dallas Cowboys that we're sticking with.
He said it 8 to 10 times.
And the shortest press conference he's ever had, 3 minutes, 22 seconds.
That is a man that knows he was wrong. And instead of giving a defense, all he wanted to say is, no, we made a decision.
We made a decision.
So,
did you hear some of the reporter questions?
Oh, give me one.
Oh,
I heard him, but I can't remember.
I think it was Mickey Spagnola asks, if you knew he wasn't going to be on the team anyway, why was he at camp?
Right.
Valid question. Dale Hansen, I didn't get to hear what I need to look it up because Dale apparently said, you guys do anything right?
The problem with it is that Jason Garrett, for those that do not know, is always preaching about wanting the right kind of guys on the team. It's always, I need the right kind of guys. I want high character guys. I want high quality guys. But that's not what's on the team. We actually lead the league in games lost due to suspension.
Right.
By a far, far margin. Because we do not go after the right kind of guy. Jerry Jones doesn't give a crap about the right kind of guy.
No.
Jerry Jones cares about talent.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Jones is not just the owner, he is also the de facto GM.
Of course.
And so, Jerry, I don't give a crap. You miss meetings, it doesn't matter to me. I care about what they do on the field.
Right. Can you rush the quarterback?
Can you rush the quarterback? That's how you end up drafting guys like Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
You put everything aside and you say, you know what? He's got talent.
And most of these guys, as you said, you knew about this stuff. There was conversation after conversation about Randy Gregory's drug use.
Yes.
All through college. Well, but he sure is a good football player.
That's a lot of talent in the second round there.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do. Every facet of life. People that, I haven't called you in a while. Well, I've been real busy. No, you just didn't want to call. Let's be honest. You're going to end up doing exactly what you want to do because we're all, to some degree, in control of how our day goes. So Jerry Jones is going to draft the people he wants to draft. He's going to keep people on the team he wants to keep on the team, no matter what they do off the field. I'm a true believer that he thinks any publicity is good publicity. And
what gets me about the Lucky Whitehead, even the police department came out and said this was an errant charge.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna own up. We made a mistake.
Sure.
We should have done a better job. Sorry about this, Lucky. We apologize. Bam. The Cowboys, on the other hand,
we made a decision.
One thing I always tell my children is, and this is hopefully something that people learn growing up, take responsibility for your actions.
That's all you have to do.
Take responsibility. Just get up and say, you know what, we were misinformed. We thought we had the facts. We didn't. We made a decision based on facts that were not correct. We wish that wouldn't have happened, but we do have to move forward.
I wonder if Jerry ends up backdooring a check to Lucky that's just kind of the whole.
If he had, Lucky wouldn't be on the social media writing 17.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point.
Down talking bad about the Cowboys. Jerry could have probably given him some kind of an injury settlement,
sure,
quote unquote,
yeah,
so that everything got swept under the rug. Wouldn't have been a bad thing to do.
No,
but instead of doing that, and then sign that confidentiality agreement. But instead of doing that, Jerry opted to make an emotional case, giving people second chances, and how he's such a compassionate owner.
Oh, yeah.
But you just cut the guy who didn't commit the crime, Jerry.
It's so funny because Charlotte is the head of the NFL player character committee of whatever that's called.
Right.
And so she didn't come in and go, "Hey, Dad, maybe we need to tap the brakes here real quick."
Jerry literally came on the camera and looked like he was trying to get a little sympathy. No, Jerry, we're sympathetic to the guy you just let go for a crime he didn't commit.
And you're right. It was convenient because now you got a guy that says, "Okay, we can show that now we take action. You're not a character guy. You got to go. We picked the wrong one."
We picked the wrong one. And don't get me wrong. I know all coaches do this.
Sure.
All coaches. Jimmy Johnson was notorious. And he'll tell you, hey, Kirvin Richards, you fall asleep in the meeting, you're gone the next day.
Gotta go.
Emmitt Smith, you fall in the meeting, I'm going to let you get a little 5-minute nap before I come wake you up.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a little bit of a different scenario based on talent and skill level.
Sure.
It's just that the Cowboys, we are at a point now where it does not seem as though the real talent and skill level matters. It's where we drafted them.
Right.
Which is a little bit different than Jimmy, because Jimmy will get rid of a second-round pick.
No doubt.
We've got guys here now, such as, I don't even like Nolan Carroll.
Right.
I'm not a big fan of Nolan Carroll.
Right.
I see him as a player who we pretty much signed because all of our other cornerbacks were gone.
Right.
I'm not a real big fan at this point of Randy Gregory because I do not believe he will play another game for the Dallas Cowboys.
I can't imagine he does.
Why are we hanging on to these guys?
Don't know.
If you want to send a message.
Is there a pride factor there that just basically says, I can't let go?
Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't let Josh Brent go and he killed his best friend.
You know what? The difference in those two scenarios, though, is Josh Brent. I don't agree if you want to be someone who parades second chances and say I'm willing to give them. When you make when you're offering, you say I'm the guy that gives people second chances. If you want that label, okay, that's fine. But don't be the guy that gives fifth and sixth chances, which is what Randy Gregory is getting.
Yeah.
That's why I have a little bit of an issue. That's why I have an issue with people like Greg Hardy. Mm-hmm. You gave him a second chance, but he wore out second, third, fourth, and fifth chances.
Right.
If you're going to give them extra chances based on talent, that's when you're kind of undermining the coach and the club itself.
Right.
You can have a one chance, but you can't have 5 for this guy and none for this guy.
Exactly. That's the thing I agree is it's just like at any job, and I know that we live in a world where value determines punishment. I agree with that. I agree that happens. I don't agree that it's right, but it is what happens. Based on my history, I'm not very valuable to anybody. So we all want fairness. We all want equality. We all want what's good for you to be good for me, and what's wrong or what's punishment for you should be punishment for me. Unless I actually do something, then it's, well...
And another piece to that is football is the ultimate meritocracy, right?
Yes.
How are we doing for time?
We got 1 minute.
Okay, football is the ultimate meritocracy. Now, when it comes to these suspensions, sure enough, you can have a player or two that you're going to give these extra chances to.
Of course.
If Tom Brady does something, he's the heart and soul of the team. I'm not cutting Tom Brady.
Right.
But anybody else on this roster, you get one chance.
Right.
And I don't see anything wrong with having that kind of philosophy.
I don't either. I mean, but when you pick and choose, and if you're going to do that, ultimately it's going to bite you, just like it did with Lucky Whitehead. We picked the wrong one, and now us trying to do what would have made us look better, more than likely is going to continue to make us look worse.
Well, the great thing is we can say that this isn't the biggest faux pas in Jerry Jones' football career.
No. No.
We can honestly hold on. It's not even the greatest firing in Jimmy Jones' career.
No.
We've got much bigger than Lucky Whitehead. We've got a 2-time Super Bowl champion on the resume.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got two Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
Head coaches on the resume.
Yeah.
So Jerry's not going to have to worry about
let that go.
This is a blip on the radar for him. We've done a lot worse. So as a Dallas Cowboy fan, disappointed to see how it was handled.
Yeah.
But my real problem is that the organization needs to know how to man up at it.
And that's the thing. It's just becoming par for the course. We don't know because we've never done it right to begin with. But in the world we live in, I have all the money, so who are you to tell me how to do anything? So that I think at some point this will continue to be a hindrance to the development of that team, which, let's be honest, is a contending team this year.
Don't worry, Dak Prescott's going to save us. As I told you, 4 Super Bowls in his future.
See me in 4 years, folks.
I didn't say 4.
I know, but see me in 4 years when there's none.
Oh, none. Okay. Like I say, we'll deliver the trophy to whoever. If we do not win it,
right,
we'll deliver
of course.
the trophy
it's fine.
to whoever actually wins.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thanks for tuning in with us tonight, you guys. We actually enjoyed each other's company once again, and we enjoyed you guys coming in and joining us for the World of Sport. This is Sports Rehab. Coming up later this week, we also have A Man's Point of View on Thursday night at Brickhouse Lounge from 9 to 11. Coach's Corner will be returning this week also on Sunday from 4 to 6, followed by the Suave Radio Show, 6 to 8. Those guys always have a very, very good time on the radio. Then on Monday of next week, we actually have a new show starting. It's called Straight from the Hip. We've got some young ladies that'll be coming in, and they're going to be telling us all the things that men want to know.
Ain't no woman telling me what I want to know.
And Jimmy's someone who needs to listen.
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, on Tuesday, join us again for the Black of the Berry from 8 to 10. Please come in, join High Vibe Media Marketing Group. We've got something going on almost every day now, so that's what we want to do. We want to keep that schedule full as much as possible. If you are interested in hosting a show as well, please contact us. you can send us at the very bottom of the YouTube where you have comments. You can post a comment. We'll answer those comments. We'll get the information out to you that you needed. It's highvaluemedia and marketing group.com. Reach out to us there. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Jimmy, anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks,
We're
guys.
good. All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good night. How was the people, Jimmy?
Yeah. Speaking of that.